Welcome to Flip Lesson 76. As we have gathered and looked at the ideas of fractions and decimals and the relationships between them, now we can understand what we need to do when it comes to comparing them and how they can be beneficial in helping each other out. For example, we look at the problem here. It says 3/5 compared to 5/8. Both of those fractions are not odd fractions, but at the same time, they're not the easiest fractions to compare. In fact, finding a common denominator is going to take some steps. So instead of necessarily finding a common denominator and converting them into equivalent fractions, instead let's convert them to decimal form. How are we going to do that? Of course, we said that a fraction is really a division problem, 3 divided by 5. And so we can write this problem, 3 divided by 5. 5 goes into 3 0 times. Our decimal here goes straight up, add a 0. 5 goes into 30 6 times. And so we have a decimal number of 0.6. In comparison to our other fraction, which is 5 divided by 8. 8 goes into 5 0 times. Put our decimal down, put it straight up so we don't get lost, add our 0. 8 goes into 50 6 times. So at the moment we are very close. Of course, 6 times 8 is 48, and we have 2 left over. And so we're going to add another 0, and we're going to bring that 0 down, and 8 goes into 22 times, which is going to give us an answer of 16. And we're going to bring down a 4. And so we're going to add another 0, and we'll bring that 0 down, and we see that 8 goes into 45 times. And so in the end, our comparison between these two ideas are very, very close due to the fact that our difference comes in our hundredths. But in the end, we see that 5/8 is bigger than 3/5. Let's try another one. This time, our comparison is between a decimal number and a fraction. So in this sense, it's a little harder to understand exactly the relationship we see here. So we need to convert them into decimals. Of course, this time we only have one side of work to do. So we need to take 4 divided by 5. 5 goes into 4 0 times. We'll put our decimal down. We'll put it straight up, and we'll add a 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times, and now we have our decimal. And so in the end, our decimal is 0.8 in comparison to 0.85. And in this case, our decimal wins as, once again, our hundredths place value becomes the determining factor. By using this, we're using the different principles that we've learned already to help us make comparisons and quickly determine our answers and continuing to understand our relationships between decimals and fractions. Our lesson today is going to focus completely on that. And so here are some sample problems to get you on your way as you explore the relationship between fractions and decimals and using those decimals to compare numbers. That is Flip Lesson 76.